I'm Thom.
And I'm Kitty. Welcome to the Wheel of Time Community Show, produced by Dragonmount.com and sponsored by Tor Books, as well as our amazing Patreon community. I'm your host, Kitty. Thank you so much to everyone who checked out our first episode. We've had a great response so far, and we're encouraged by all of your positive feedback. Like, for example, this viewer comment from Gold Fishery. Instantly added to my Watt YouTube feed. Get that Wheel of Time content into my eyeballs. You know, we don't condone injecting things into your eyeballs, especially YouTube videos. I mean, have you seen Baalzamon? I think his flaming eyes were caused by watching the Billy Zane Winter Dragon video. Ugh. So yeah, we've got a fun show for you today. Please, we're trying to get better all of the time, so like this video and leave us a comment with a suggestion. Also, I promise, no goats in this episode. Seriously, guys? No goats? Who wrote this? This week marked a special occasion. October 17th was Robert Jordan's birthday. In case you didn't know, James Oliver Rigney was born in 1948. He would have been 71. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that RJ would have loved everything that's coming into the Wheel of Time community these days. We all know how much fun his wife Harriet has at JordanCon, the annual convention in Atlanta that celebrates the franchise and other similar works. He would have been all over this. Also, about a week and a half before his birthday, Tor released his first and last novel, Warrior of the Altaii. Now, this is a standalone fantasy novel that Robert Jordan wrote in 1977. That's more than a decade before he even began writing the first books of the Wheel of Time. It has some interesting and familiar aspects that the Watt community will recognize. There's prophecies of significance, magic that's limited to women only, lots of familiar sounding character names, and a plethora of people being strung up by their ankles and beaten. Memories. For more about this book, let's bring in our barbarian book expert, Thom DeSimone. Hi, Thom. Are you there?
Yeah, hey Kitty, I'm here.
I hear you've read Warrior of the Altaii. Tell us what you thought.
I did read the book, Kitty, and honestly, I have a lot of feelings and thoughts on this book. I'm going to give you guys my personal non-spoilery review for Warrior of Altaii here. But if you want to see a more spoiler-filled review, check out this video right here that I did with my pal Daniel Green. I'm happy to say I made fast friends with him over at this past year's JordanCon, and you can check out this video and all Daniel Green's other videos on his YouTube channel. He's an awesome dude, for real. All right, so Warrior of the Altaii. From the standpoint of someone who loves Robert Jordan, his writing voice, and his storytelling, this book was awesome to read. It was a lot of fun. I loved seeing the proto-ideas for the Wheel of Time buried in the pages of this book. There's one that's toward the end that I really think was an idea for, like an early idea for the Three Oaths, and maybe how like lying functions for the Aes Sedai. Like if they believe what they're saying is true, then they can get away with lying, kinda. That was pretty cool. One of the very different things, though, that we're all used to from the Wheel of Time is the first person's perspective. That was very different, but it was done very well. One of the other things that I think really gets lost in some of the reviews that I've seen is that this was one of his first books, if not the first book that he ever wrote. It was really clean and well done for being like a very early book that he did. All that praise being said, though, it is very dated. This book was written in and intended to be released in the 1970s, and it's very evident that it's a product of the fantasy genre of its time. Though in true RJ fashion, he only alludes to the more darker veins that other barbarian fantasies of the time shamelessly brought to the forefront for shock value.
So give us the bottom line. Would other fans of the Wheel of Time enjoy this? Is it worth picking up?
Final review? Well, if you're a Wheel of Time fan and a Robert Jordan fan, you'll probably love reading this book. The story itself is solid, and it wraps up nicely, with even maybe a hint of a possibility of more to come for this world.
Okay, Thom. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kitty. I'll see you later.
Warrior of the Altaii is available now in stores and online through Barnes & Noble, Amazon, indiebound.org, Audible, and of course, your favorite local independent bookseller. You can also get an ebook copy on dragonmount.com at their ebook store. Communities are all about relationships. We hear stories all the time about how the Wheel of Time books brought together great groups of friends and even some married couples. We wanted to explore these relationships a little bit more. So we brought in a very special relationship expert to tell us more about this important topic. Please welcome our senior correspondent, the daughter of the night, Lanfear. Hi, Lanfear. Are you there? Yes, I'm here. Unfortunately. Where are you? I'm in a place you can't even comprehend, girl. This is a parallel dimension, not yet even conceived by your puny little mind. It'll take your backwater species at least a couple of centuries to discover it, let alone visit this domain. I could say where I am, but your awkward language hardly has the vocabulary. You're in an apartment, aren't you? Yes, in Cleveland, and this wine is terrible. So I understand you've received letters from Wheel of Time fans asking for relationship advice. Yes. I gotta say, what a bunch of losers. I mean, come on. Where did you even find these? Hey, don't insult the viewers. All right. All right. I suppose that hair color of yours is insulting enough as it is. Could you kindly tell us what these letters are about that you've received? Yes, I did receive a letter from a kid named Janet. Dear Lanfear, I'm 13 years old, but my dad says I have to wait until I'm 16 to read the Wheel of Time. What should I do? Well, Janet, such a quaint name. Normally, I would suggest overthrowing your father, locking him in the pit of doom, and taking control of your family. However, I have learned that this is frowned upon on your primitive world. So, instead, if this is really that important to you, talk to your father and tell him. Cite him some other works of fiction that you've read. Remind him that if the reader really wants to read a book, they're usually ready for it. So take your fate into your own hands. Do not let lesser minds control you. Take command, Janet. Love, Lanfear. Here's another letter. Dear Lanfear, I work in a small office and I think the marketing intern is really hot, but I don't think she knows I exist. Any advice on how I can get her attention? Oh, you poor, gentle, pathetic human. This is too easy. Use compulsion. Lanfear? That's actually not okay. Do you have specific laws in your world against compulsion? Well, no, but... Well, then I don't see what the problem is. Well, fine. Buy her some flowers and tell her how you feel. Thanks, Lanfear. We'll see you next time. Love, Lanfear. If you want to get relationship advice from Lanfear, leave a comment below or email show@dragonmount.com. Wheel of Time social media is a very busy place these days. So, for more on this, let's go to our social media correspondent, Ebony. Hey, Ebony, what's new?
Hi, Kitty. There's a lot that's been happening on Wheel of Time's social media. First, Wheel of Time TV show has been filming for about a month now. People are still trying to figure out which actors they saw in the What Wednesday table read video. In fact, the Dusty Wheel did a video analysis and thinks they identified one actor. We also had an actor and her agent post about being on the show, but tweet was taken down shortly after. So nothing official on that yet, so we won't speculate.
Well, hashtag What Wednesday is coming up in a couple of weeks. Perhaps then we'll get some more clarity to these rumors.
Well, today I wanted to talk to you about podcasts that our fans maybe want to take a listen to. I've got a list here for you. In no particular order, we have The Wheel Weaves. It's suitable for first-time readers. There's no spoilers. Twatcast, which does rereads of not only Wheel of Time, but other book series and covers general nerd culture. We have Ranland Wheel of Time TV podcast, which is focused on the upcoming TV show. The White Tower podcast, which is hosted by Jess and Jen, and they give us a weekly synopsis of chapters. We also have the Black Tower podcast, hosted by Andrew and Aaron, and they do weekly discussions of the chapters. We also have What Spoilers for those of you that have completed the series. This is a rather long-running podcast, and there is some adult content. Then we have the Legendarium Wheel of Time. This podcast also has spoilers, and they split each book into 2 episodes. Then we have Everybody Hates Rand, which is run by 2 English majors that really do hate Rand, though they're willing to admit that he's okay sometimes. They do about 2 chapters per week. Then we have the Dragon Reread. They read about 5 chapters per episode, and they do a recap in case you don't want to read along. And last but not least, we have Dragon Mount's 4th Age podcast, which ended a while back, but you can still get all the legacy episodes. This podcast will be reborn once we get closer to the TV show airing.
Wow, that is a really long list. That should keep the viewers busy. Thanks, Ebony.
Okay, thanks, Kitty. Bye.
We'll feature a few of these in some future episodes. But for now, check them all out and find out which one is right for you. And that's our show. Just a reminder that we'll be releasing episodes bi-weekly, so we'll see you again in early November. Until then, I'm Kitty. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to click those like and subscribe buttons below, and follow Dragonmount, Amazon, Tor Books, and Daniel Green on all their social medias. I want to give one more special shout out to everyone at Tor Books for sponsoring us, as well as all our friends over at Patreon. If you want to learn more about the show and how it's made, maybe get some other additional insights into the Wheel of Time, then you can join those lovely people on Patreon and support us. Find a link for that below. We got a lot of big plans for the show, and your contributions will go a long way into helping them come out of the shadows and into the light. See you all next time.